Hello everybody, Andy here, unboxing Warcry today, the Crypt of Blood, a new starter set for Warcry. Now, I'm going to unbox it while you look from the top down. It's going to be very exciting, I'm sure, and a little bit of hand modelling. But the main thing I'm going to be talking about is actually conspiracy theories regarding Warcry. That's kind of it. So I've had a quick look at the starter box set, and I will discuss about that. Is this good for you to buy? Why would you buy it if you're, whatever. But mainly it's just like an unboxing, see what you actually get in the set, while I kind of ramble about conspiracy theories. So here's the overhead. So let's crack it open, shall we? This is a new starter box from the Warcry series. I will say, they've kind of finished their Heart of Gur thing, and they've moved on to this, and then I assume in 3 months we're going to get something new. Maybe it will continue in a similar kind of line down, using this sort of model, or, and by model I mean releasing Underworld's models in Warcry. Let's have a look. So we get to the books in a moment, but we do indeed have our starter book. We have a paper mat, and we have all of our cards, etc. Do I need to say anything about a paper mat? No, I don't think so. I think that anything GW can do to give you kind of an easy way in. Oh, okay, here we go. 1 sprue, some dice, 2 sprues. Okay. Okay, interesting. So this little sprue set here, looks nice. I think, is this new? These railings look new to me and my eyes, but I can't be sure. This feels new. But I'm not sure. When I looked at it, I just assumed it was the standard Garden of Moor set. But maybe this is new stuff, actually. So that's cool. And certainly, if we kind of look forward into what might this mean, maybe they are re-releasing, a Garden of Moor-like set. Or maybe this will just be a nice little addition. Or I'm completely wrong, and this is just an old sprue. We then have 2 sprues. If you know anything about Warcry and Underworlds, you'll know that this sprue here, the beautiful vampire sprue, is, this is gold dust here. Not in the sense that you can't get it, just that in that every model is a banger, straight stone cold banger. If you're doing any sort of conversion work, look at this sprue first. Everything here is great. And then we get some Xandar's Truth Speakers, or whatever they're called, Truth Seekers. I generally quite like Stormcast. I say you can never go wrong with more Stormcast in your life. So it's cool that I get some more. And as a starter box, you've got the good versus the evil. That's obviously a good sign. You've got the poster boys versus, honestly, some of the best models in the game. Right, so from a sprue perspective, I cannot fault the models at all. We do need to talk about their rules quickly, but just for the models they give you, top tier, love them. This terrain sprue, cool, I guess. As mentioned, clearly I needed to do a bit of research about what this actually is. Even if I go ahead and just say, you know what, this is probably an old sprue that lots of people already have. From a starter box perspective, is this enough terrain to do what you need to do? From my limited experiences with Warcry, yes. For a starter box, this is fine. I would say that if you're familiar, of course, with the Kill Team starter box, I don't think that is enough terrain to make Kill Team work. You're missing vital parts of the rule system in the Kill Team starter box. But in Warcry, you don't need elevation. This gives you everything you need. Now, it might not be enough, but you're not missing key elements of the game. So, I actually, as a starter box, hey, it depends on price point, obviously. I'm going to assume £50. right? And then you'll buy it second hand or, third party. So you're looking at like, let's say £45. Possibly closer to like 42.50. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Good way to dive into these things. Now, let's have a little, I do want to have a very quick talk about my conspiracy theories. What is this box? Did we need a new starter set? Well, yes, we did. There you go. I'm glad I got that. Glad I got to that point. So, if you recall, in Kill Team, because I generally assume that Warcry and Kill Team are inextricably linked, okay? Kill Team had the Octarius box release. Then, I can't remember when exactly the starter set released. I want to say it was after Chownath, but it might have been just before Chownath. Either way, it was near the second box. Warcry has been out for over a year, and this is the first time we've got the starter box. So I genuinely don't know where you would start with Warcry if it wasn't for the fact that nobody plays Warcry, and so the box is never sold out, so you could always get hold of the box. Now that might sound a little bit harsh, but quite genuinely, Kill Team had a really big issue in that you could not buy the boxes. Certainly, so telling somebody where to start, you had to say, if the starter box is in set, buy the starter box, and that's it. You don't get rules anywhere else. At least in the starter box, you get rules, but Warcry has consistently been in stock because it doesn't sell as much as the 40k IP. So you could always get it. You could always get a rule book somewhere, okay? In this, we obviously get the tokens we need, and we get a special Crypt of Blood book, which I will talk about in a moment. We also get all of this stuff. So we get... I can't take that off. Fair enough. We get our nice little cards. I'm sure some people out there are going to absolutely love to see these stats. Me, I don't really care too much. These are something called... I want to say they're called Epic Heroes. I can't quite remember. And they have... is it here? Up here? This symbol? I can't remember. There's a symbol on this card that lets you know which proper faction can take them. So my understanding is that to legally run these factions, what you need to do is be running another faction, and then you can hire these in essentially as mercenaries. And that's fine, you just pay the points cost. Like, there's no additional cost to it. It's just they are not designed to be their own faction, right? Because they wouldn't come up to a point. So you got what 120, 105, 130, 210. That's not 1,000 points. So, but this is still the whole army. Whereas this one, you got 210, 165, 170, 115. You're still not a full faction. Cool. And so then you just take something for these guys. This is the Death faction. This is the Order faction. You just go ahead and say, okay, well, I want to run one of these, two of these, three of these, all four, along with something else. Okay, and that's how these work. I can't actually remember what they're called, but I read them in this book at some point. So there you go. That's how this team works. That's how these teams work. Oh, I suppose some of you are going to be absolutely dying to see these, right? The abilities. So let's have a quick look. What's the back? Okay. Reaction, Thunderous Departure. I'm not going to read it. Unfeeling Flesh. Very cool, I'm sure. And then we have all of their reactions here, which is nice, I suppose. I'm sure these are very fun to read if you know kind of like any of the rules of Warcry. Right, I want to have... Okay, before I dive into the book, I want to very quickly say my conspiracy theory. Because when I got this box, I wasn't sure exactly what I got, right? And I kept thinking... Because Games Workshop, thank you for sending me these, obviously, Warcry. But they send me... Games Workshop sends me only 3 things. Warcry, Underworlds, and Kill Team. Obviously, when it's Kill Team, that's a different setting, so I don't have to think. I know that is Kill Team. When they send me Warcry and when they send me Underworlds, these are both systems that I, in theory, like, but don't actually really get much time to play, right? So to me, they're just kind of, oh yeah, the Age of Sigmar systems. This Warcry box is Warcry, but it is 2 Underworlds warbands, and so I'm just so confused, like mentally, about what I'm actually being given. Now the reason for that confusion is, and here's the conspiracy, Warcry and Underworlds don't seem to be selling well. Now that doesn't matter, who cares? Hold on. Let me give you my conspiracy theory face to face. Warcry and Underworlds do not seem to be selling as well as the 40k IP stuff, Kill Team 40k, right? And that seems to just be generally how it is. Age of Sigmar as an IP does not sell as well as 40k as an IP, and that seems to trickle down through all of the systems, okay? Now, I'm not commenting on the quality of the rules or anything, or the support, nothing about that, just raw, from what we can see, it does seem like Sigmar, the IP, and everything within it sells less than the 40k IP and everything within it. Cool, that's fine, not a bad thing. However, Underworlds has a lot of the best models that Games Workshop puts out. And as I was just saying with the Vampire Boys, right? If you want to do any conversions, step 1, look at these 4 models, right? Like, genuinely, they're such great models. And then I would argue, if you want to do any conversions, the first step is look at some Underworlds models. The Skaven are amazing. Like, every Skaven they've done, absolute top tier. Just all of them, really, really good models. And a lot of people know this, a lot of 40k players know this, and like an amusing anecdote that we have no way to prove, but it is like a thing, because we know not many people actually play the game, right? But a lot of people probably buy the Underworld's warbands just to convert for 40k. Okay, now we don't know the actual numbers, obviously, we will never know that, neither will GW. But you are going to see a lot of Underworld's warbands converted into 40k models. This Warcry, now, again, this is all guesswork. This is all possibilities, right? Warcry this new edition doesn't seem to be selling well, which is a real shame for GW, because Warcry is like legit the only game system they have that has actually won like an outside industry award for game design. Nothing else they've ever put out has won anything, like from the wider market. Now they don't care because they're making money hand over fist, but it's a real shame that they're the one thing that they've done that has had outside recognition doesn't sell, which real bad thing for them to be learning, right? But the Underworld's warbands do sell, not because of the game, but because people want to convert them. So how do you then sell more Warcry stuff? You put the models that do sell into the rule set that doesn't sell, and you sell and you make money. And that is why I believe Crypt of Blood exists. So I imagine to them, somebody had this idea and it was like a stroke of genius, right? They've got, okay, let's put a single set of sprue in there, right? Almost nothing. And then put 2 Underworld's warbands, because there's not much plastic there and people love those models, so they will buy those models. And let's put it in with a starter box, because you've got to have a starter box for every system, which, yes, you do. And the rule system that, yeah, we could just write stats for those. That's not a problem. Yeah. I think this was just, yeah. There you go. And that was actually one of my big gripes about the new Warcry. When they released the new Warcry, they released a compendium, and the compendium should have had everything from the previous edition. Cool, so cool, fine. But it didn't have one thing. And what is the one thing it didn't have? It was the one thing I wanted as somebody looking at the systems at the Age of Sigmar IP to get in. What is the most value for your money? Underworld's warbands. Because they work in Underworlds, they did work in Warcry, and they worked in Age of Sigmar. So buying an Underworld's warband, from a mechanics perspective, gave you 3 things in one. But then they re-released Warcry, and the compendium did not have the Underworld's warbands. And I was like, well, hold on. You've just stopped me from having the amazing value proposition alongside the best models in the range, because you didn't put them in Warcry. Now, I'm actually a little bit hazy. I want to say they did add them back in, but I can't remember if that's actually true or if I'm making that up. Anyway, there you go. That's my conspiracy theory. I should have put that rant at the end. Anyway, oh hey, if you've made it to the end of the rant, I would like to give you a big double hello. I made you wait for that one, didn't I? Guys, what is a double hello? It's a pleasantry that's given to you twice, and in this day of late stage capitalism, I think we can all appreciate something for free. There you go. If you like what I do here, consider checking out, liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, all that good stuff, and consider checking out my Patreon. Let's dive into the rules with the top-down cam. Where's that? There you go. So, Crypt of Blood. This is, if you obviously I'm a Kill Team channel, right? So I assume that you know Kill Team. This is essentially just the Kill Team rulebook, which means that, but for Warcry. What does that mean? That means that you get some really good things, but you're also missing a lot. So, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Okay, what I really like about this is the contents. I really like, basically, this teaches you how to play the game. It is not the full core rules, though. I do want to stress that. It teaches you everything that you need to play these 2 warbands, but nothing else. So it even says at the back, it says, hey, once you've done this, consider going and buying the actual core rulebook, which to me is a bit crazy, right? I do like, I always love corn painted up yellow, I've got to say. Anyway, so, that's a weird thing. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's fine, but here we go. Continuing your quest, buy the core rulebook. At first, I thought, oh, that's weird. Haven't we just learned the core rules? No, you haven't. You've learned the majority of the rules, and you've learned everything you need to know to play these 2 warbands, but you haven't actually learned everything. So, yep, that's fine. The compendium. Now, this is another odd one, because the compendium is free online. They gave it away for free. And the warband tomes, yeah, that's how that works, sure. Cool. Okay, now I do want to show you, where is it? So I want to show you the to battle section. All of this is just kind of the basics. But then to battle, right, here we go. The escape, is very simple, you see here. You start here, and it tells you almost exactly what you're going to do. It says, this entire setup is purely how to move. You're not going to have any combat, you're just moving. And you're learning the turn sequence and you move. But you're not doing anything else. You're not rolling your dice to see if you get any of your abilities, you're just moving. And that's battle plan 1. You then, hold on, I went too far. No, I didn't, okay. That's a lot of pages. There we go. Cool, it's just, this is just telling you how to move. You then get battle plan 2. In this one, you're going to get a fight. So it teaches you how to fight. Now, I think this is actually really nice, and I'm thinking about it from the perspective of somebody that would, if I were wanting to teach someone how to play the game, this is great. This is worded almost like somebody that is, a content creator wanting to write a script for a how to play video that's really in depth, this is a script. I could read this word for word, put up a few little kind of, diagrams, move some models with a nice HD camera, and this tells you, and you would know how to play the game. So it's all very scripted, and it even says, at this point you would roll your attack dice. However, assume that this is what you rolled. And so every single bit is carefully scripted. And I would say I actually like it, because what this is teaching you to do is learning how to play the game solo. And I think as a learn to play book, this is really good. There you go. Yeah, that's my main takeaway from this. To learn the game, this is exactly what you want. Cool. And I think, yeah, there you go. There you go. Because I've been thinking about this for Kill Team quite a bit as well. How do you learn the game? Well, a lot of people have more time solo than they have in a group. And in general, you want to, in some way, practice the game before you go and play in a group, so you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting others' times, blah, blah, blah. So that means you have to learn the game solo, and this is how you would learn Warcry solo. Now, you could argue some of this is like, chewing eggs, right? Or whatever that, sucking eggs? Chewing bricks? I don't know. But if you know nothing about wargaming, this is great. You can sit down and you can read through this word for word, and you can set your little dice out, and you can say, okay, I rolled a 1, and it says here that I rolled a 3. Okay, awesome. Let's see what happens. And you will be able, but the issue with solo play is that there is nobody to correct you, right? So you could be playing an entire aspect of a game incorrectly, as many do. But because this is so tightly scripted, you can't do that. It says, this is what you rolled. This is why you rolled it. This is the outcome of what you rolled. It's a very tight, good, expansive script to teach a solo player the game so that they play it exactly as it should be played. And I really like that. I think that's a really good book to have in a starter set. So negatives, the fact that you, hold on. There we go. Lovely. So the fact that it is a good learning book, but you then have to spend more money for the core rules is a big misstep. For me personally, I think, now look, I know that GW has to think about cost benefit and all that stuff, and I understand, hey, if you can just sell another book, why not do that? I think this is really good, and I have no notes. But I really think a starter box, and this is the same for, this is really good. And unlike Kill Team, you get the full rules for this team. You get everything you need to play this team in the full real game of Warcry, and that's great. Kill Team messed up. Kill Team didn't do that. Kill Team did not give you the rules to play your Vet Guard and Commandos in a real game. That's insane. This gives you the full rules, and it gives you a great starter book, but they needed to add one more thing to make this the perfect Warcry starter set, and that is a mini book of the core rules. Now, Kill Team starter set got that. You got a mini little A5 book that was just the core rules. If that had been in this, and this was at 50 quid, this would be a legitimately amazing starter set for Warcry. As it is, you do not get the core rules. I want to stress that. You get the majority of the core rules, but you don't get them all. So technically, you can then go to a game after learning how to play solo, and they will just say, oh, right, I don't know what this rune mark does. I don't know what the mounted keyword does. Oh, you have fly? I don't know what that is. You have magic? What? Right? That's an issue. However, and again, this is pure guesswork with the price point. Kill Team was amazing value for the price point. For its negatives, it was really good. This, 50 quid, I'll say good. Not obviously value, price points, very personal. I believe the Kill Team box was 60, and everybody generally agrees that's a really good price point. You don't get quite as much here. although I think this is a quality starter book, you don't get as much plastic, you don't get as much value out of that plastic either. But you do get the, yeah, there you go. Okay, well that's basically it. Either way, cool little box. Cool little box, cool teams, great plastic. Oh yeah. You know, Wikipedia doesn't exist for Warcry, so where do you get the core rules? You have to buy them? Cringe. Have to buying rules, absolute cringe. But if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. I like it. Great models. Fun system. A shame that not many people really play it, but I'm very happy to get those models. But I would, I suppose, you know, I said that these models are so good because they can be used in 3 different systems. And I'm just thinking, I don't think that's actually true for Underworlds. Because for Underworlds, you need specific cards for them. But due to the new Underworld system, I think you can just, no. So you could just go out and buy another Nemesis deck, but you don't have the Underworld cards to play the factions. So you would have to find them and at least print them off to a point where if you play them at a tournament, because Warhammer World is literally the only place where Underworld tournaments still occur, so you need to, you know, glue them together so that they're not going to ask, oh, are these official cards, right? So actually, I get why they haven't done it, but again, I feel like that's just a little misstep. You know, they could have made this some kind of combined set, Warcry Underworld combined, you know, and just get everything. They would never do that, obviously. They would never do that. But right now, great models, but you can't actually play that version of the models because they don't have the rules for Underworlds. That's a bit of an issue. It removes a little bit of their value proposition. That's all. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Andy, and this is a cool little box, depending on price point.